It starts with something subtle, a slight twinge in your lower back when you bend over, a dull ache in your shoulder after a shift, that quiet tension behind your knees when you stand too long without moving. And like so many people at work, you brush it off. It's just part of the job. I'll stretch later, it'll go away on its own. But here's what most people don't realize. What begins as minor discomfort can evolve into a debilitating injury. And not just any injury, but one that can linger for months, even years. A musculoskeletal injury, or MSI, is one of the most common and costly types of workplace harm worldwide. They account for lost time, reduced productivity, chronic pain, and in many cases, a complete shift in someone's career path. In this episode, we're going to explore the slow creep of ergonomic injuries, the kind that don't happen in a flash, the ones that happen over time, quietly, predictably, and preventable. Let's start with Enrique. Enrique worked in a bottling plant in Argentina. His job was repetitive: lift, place, rotate, repeat. 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. He took pride in his work, never missed a shift. But after 2 years, the ache in his wrist started to linger longer. Then came the numbness in his thumb and forefinger. He shrugged it off, assumed it was temporary. It wasn't. By the time he reported it, Enrique had developed advanced carpal tunnel syndrome. He underwent surgery. Months of rehab followed. Even after returning, his grip strength was never the same. His confidence at work slipped, all from a motion he'd done 1,000,000 times. His employer, too, faced the ripple effects: reassignments, retraining, and loss of seasoned talent. This is the danger of low-level strain. Unlike falls or equipment incidents, ergonomic injuries don't announce themselves with drama. They whisper. They sneak in during overtime, during busy seasons, during those moments when you push through just a little longer. In Canada alone, over 40% of workplace injuries are related to musculoskeletal strain. In Japan, that number is even higher in factory environments. And worldwide, the story is the same. Long hours, awkward postures, repetitive motions, all fueling invisible damage. Take Meena, a seamstress in an Indian textile factory. For years, she sat on the same stool at the same table, hunched slightly forward as she stitched garments hour after hour. Her right shoulder started to tighten. She started using her left arm more to compensate. Eventually, the pain became so sharp she could no longer lift her arm above her head. The diagnosis? Severe rotator cuff damage. Surgery was too risky. Her only option was early retirement. Meena's employer, like many, didn't understand how a few inches in workstation height or better lighting could have spared years of discomfort and career-ending strain. What makes these stories so heartbreaking is how preventable they often are. Proper chair adjustments, scheduled micro breaks, tools placed at the right height, lifting with legs instead of back, rotation between tasks. These are not luxuries, they're lifesavers. Even small investments in ergonomics can deliver outsized returns in both safety and productivity. And yet so many workplaces see ergonomics as optional, or worse, as something that only matters in offices. But musculoskeletal strain doesn't care where you work. It shows up in warehouses, on farms, in kitchens, behind cash registers in hospitals, and yes, even in home offices. Consider James, a remote worker in the UK. When the pandemic hit, he shifted to working from his kitchen table. No ergonomic chair, no monitor at eye level, no breaks except for coffee. After 6 months, he started having neck pain, then tension headaches, then nerve pain down his right arm. All from hunching over a laptop for hours on end. His injury wasn't dramatic, it was accumulated. What began as a short-term setup became a long-term problem. He eventually required physiotherapy and ergonomic consulting to undo the damage done by a simple lack of planning. And this is the pattern. Ergonomic injuries don't strike like lightning, they erode like water, one motion at a time, one shift at a time, until your body says, enough. And when that moment comes, the road back is long. It's not just physical recovery. There's emotional weight too, the fear of re-injury, the doubt about returning to full duties, the worry of being perceived as fragile or replaceable. So how do we stop the strain before it becomes pain? We start with awareness, we train, we observe, we redesign. Every worker should be trained not just in what to do, but how to do it in a way that protects their body. We need more than job orientation, we need movement education. We need to normalize checking in with our bodies as much as we check in with supervisors or checklists. Supervisors should model this too. When a leader pauses to adjust posture, to encourage a stretch break, to rotate someone out of a high repetition task, it sends a message. Your body matters, your longevity matters, and your well-being isn't something to sacrifice in the name of short-term output. In the Netherlands, one food distribution company implemented a 15 for 15 rule. Every 15 minutes of repetitive motion was followed by 15 seconds of stretching or movement. It seems small, But within a year, reported ergonomic strain dropped by nearly 30%. Workers reported fewer headaches, better energy levels, and more job satisfaction. Elsewhere, a South Korean electronics factory began rotating workers between high, mid, and low-intensity tasks throughout the day. It didn't reduce output, it reduced injuries, and it improved morale. Employees reported feeling seen, not just as production units, but as people with bodies that matter. And in an Australian nursing home, a pilot program introduced mobility coaches to teach lifting techniques and body alignment. Within months, back strain reports among care aides dropped by nearly 40%. Residents were safer too, less jostled, more secure during transfers. What all of these examples have in common is simple. They treated discomfort as a warning, not a nuisance. That's the shift we need. If your body is whispering, listen. If you feel a pull in your back, a sting in your wrist, a tightness in your shoulder, pause. Don't push through. Don't wait until the damage is done. Don't wait for the whisper to become a scream. Because what starts as an ache can become an injury. And what becomes an injury can change the way you work, or stop you from working altogether. Let's break the silence around strain. Share your story. Did you catch an injury early? Did you ignore it too long? What helped you recover? What would you tell your younger self or a new worker starting today? Your experience might be the warning sign someone else needs to hear. This is the strain you can't see. Stay aware, stay mobile, stay safe.